As we've already seen on this channel, car collectors are a rare breed with their own unique passions and reasons behind what they love. Volkswagen bus owners are just the same and love them for the freedom they represent. Let's go talk to a few of them. Welcome to Double Clutch.
Hi, my name is Rick Clark. We're in Carmel, California, in Monterey County, and this is our home break where we go surfing. What made the Volkswagen Transporter as maybe an icon of California-specific culture was because it was a counterculture thing. When we were surfing early, you had your mother's 56 Ford station wagon hand-me-down, or you were a rich kid and you had a Corvette and you could stick a board in there. You had a Woody or a sedan delivery. And to be the counterculture guy would be to get a Volkswagen bus, because most of the guys in the water didn't like that at all. And we thought that was great to kind of thumb our nose at them. Volkswagen buses were really important to us growing up in Southern California because it allowed us freedom and independence, especially with surfing. You were able to put your board in the bus, get together with your friends, go to the beach, you could travel any place and enjoy life. We have events down in Southern California you can't imagine. There'll be 375 buses very similar to this from 1950 to 1967. It's all in the subculture, and we can get together, we trade parts, talk about future events, and then in 5 hours it's all over and everybody goes back to Idaho or Utah, wherever they came from, to be part of this. It happens frequently. Right now we have a large group of buses that will be part of the Quail Motorsports gathering, and this is exciting. So I've got buses coming in, some of the most famous buses in the world, that will be part of this. That the owners of the buses are just regular folks that have a passion, as we do, for the Volkswagen Transporter. The Volkswagen Transporter was the second model that Volkswagen produced. It started in 1950. The first transporters were the panel van. The next was a panel van with windows. They called that the Combi. And then there was a demand for a vehicle that could take passengers comfortably. Most of the vehicles of the transporters were commercial vehicles. I think between 65 and 80% on a given year were just commercial vehicles.
This particular vehicle I found by accident the day that it was moved out of storage, and I had to have it. I found the vehicle in April of '88. It was a mechanical contractor's truck, and they parked it, had 38,500 original miles, and about $300 later I owned it. Around 97, 98, I had it taken apart, or I took it apart, had it painted, and I had to put it in storage, and then it sat until about 2 years ago. So this is 1998 paint. Relatively clean, rust-free car, low mileage. Here it is. This is the first day it's been out since '98. This is a commercial vehicle. It's called a panel van or a delivery van. The Safari windows that you see that are in the up position, they're movable windows. They can move down, sort of like you see in a boat. They're known to leak, but if you do them right, these are original factory parts, so things seal pretty good.
I've owned about 97 of the first generation of buses and about 70 of the second generation. Let me tell you the difference between the first generation and the second generation. The first generation has two windshields in the front and more of a sculpted nose and is the same general shape. The second generation has one windshield in the front and larger windows on the side. The second generation buses are more modern and have similar interior configurations. While it's still cool, it's less cool looking. I have my favorite bus is the third bus I ever owned. It's a 1961 sunroof standard microbus. I bought it in 1993 and I've driven it over 175,000 miles. I've driven it to the East Coast and back twice, and then all the way up and down the West Coast, Los Angeles to Seattle. And anytime you stop at a gas station, you're almost guaranteed that somebody's gonna come up and comment on the vehicle and tell you their VW story, because everybody seems to have a VW story.
So if you have a Combi like this, you could take your friends, go to Mexico, with a note from your mom to get across the border. And we ended up knowing the guys at the border. You could tell whose pickup truck was what. You memorized his license plate number, so you go to the same guy. And we'd show him the note, and he goes, "So you guys going surfing again?" We'd go, "Well, yeah, we're just going down to Ensenada." So when we were 17, we hung a left as soon as we got across the border, went down the mainland for 2 weeks. We could have gotten in trouble. We would bribe the young kids that were at the border checks. They had like M16 guns and pimples. They were all 16 years old themselves. We give them 8-track tapes, and we'd trade stuff, give them some chocolate bars, and they just let us go. It was great. Anyway, we'd come back in 2 weeks, and life was good. We'd see the same guy, and he goes, "You guys are pretty tan. How did you pull that off?" And it was just the weekend, and we said, "No, it was great. Fine, we'll see you next month, Sergeant." And it was, anyway, we had a wonderful time. You too.
Thanks for joining us. Come back next time for another great car story. New classic car episode every Monday. New restoration segment every Thursday. Only on Double Clutch.